no days off here. I gotta say, man, Myles Garrett being traded to the Rams bothers me. I just that there's teams that likes to stay keep players in house and that likes to be so focused and committed, loyal to their players. And there's other teams who's willing to do any and everything to win a Super Bowl right then and there. And there are some teams who thinks about long term, about we're building our team for the long term success to have Super Bowls years from now. And there's other teams who saying we want to win a Super Bowl right now. The only two teams I can think of who actually moves like that are the Rams and the Eagles. They show that they are willing to do anything and everything to bring in guys that can help them win right now. They're not really thinking long term. They're thinking right now. And to be honest with you, even with that type of strategy, it kind of is low key in a way long term, given the fact that based on that general manager's philosophy, he's always going to, as long as he's there with on the team, as the GM as a team, he's going to keep making moves like that. And if he keeps making moves like that, they may hit, they may not, but the chances of them hitting is more greater than none. And the fact of the matter is that the fact that the point that I'm making is that that is really the recipe to success. I mean, outside of the Rams and the Eagles, the teams that has been winning the Super Bowls is the Chiefs, evidently, and the Chiefs arguably has, well, in most people's opinion, the best quarterback in the entire NFL, one of the best quarterbacks of our generation, and arguably a top two quarterback of all time. That's what the Chiefs have. But outside of the Chiefs, Rams, Eagles, the winning Super Bowls are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm saying this and I'm talking about this because, like, why am I frustrated? Why am I kind of disturbed, upset? Is because this Myles Garrett trade to the Rams, as a Chargers fan, I'm like, we're sitting on our thumbs. I like some of the moves that the Chargers is making. I like some of their drafts that we're doing, but if we're going to not waste Justin Herbert's career, we're going to need Joe Ortiz to start making some moves like this. We are. And I speak for all other teams outside of the Eagles. Like I said, the only two teams that really be making moves like this is, I'll have to say, is the Rams and the Eagles. And given the fact that if you're a Browns fan, I know you're very frustrated and upset. You have to be. You have to be. I know. I feel for y'all. You got Jared Verse. You got a 2027 first round, a 2028 second round, 2029 third round. You got some okay draft picks with that. I mean, to be honest with you, for Myles Garrett, I would have asked for two first rounds. To be honest with you, probably would not have happened. But if the Rams are that desperate to get Myles Garrett, that's what I would have asked for. Jared Verse, he's solid, he's great, but Myles Garrett makes that defense great. Now you're behind now in a way, because now the question lurks. Not only is the offense questionable, the defense is going to be questionable now, because Myles Garrett was the heartbeat, the lungs, the breath of that defense. And he was about 80% of why that defense was so great. Now that he's not there, now the Browns has a lot of question marks now. And I honestly think it was a dumb move by the Browns. Brilliant, genius move by the Rams. Genius move by the Rams. Because now the Rams definitely has put themselves in they was already in question about if they can go to the Super Bowl this year. They was already in that question. They were already questioned about that. Now it's without question for the NFC for the Rams to go. There can be not. I can't think of another team in the NFC that can compete against the Rams about them going to the Super Bowl. I can't think. And you're talking about two dangerous lockdown corners, and then in a way lockdown corners. But then you talk about Now, Jared Verse, that the linebackers that they have is pretty solid too. The only weakness in the Rams defense was lockdown was the corners. Not only did they attack their weakness, but they beefed up their entire defense. You can't tell me that. And now I'm thinking, I don't know the space that the Rams have and everything, but I know they weren't on top of the league with cap space. And they got Myles Garrett now, and they're having they're paying a lot of big players. And that's the thing. It's how are you able to not only negotiate deals, sign guys, how are you able to keep the guys on your roster? And if you have to replace those guys, how can you replace them with a bigger, better player through trade and still kind of shuffle and duffle the money economically in your in your franchise? And no teams does that better than the Rams and the Eagles. No teams does it better than the Rams and the Eagles. It has to be very frustrating for all other 30 or 29 fans, because every other general manager should be moving like that. I said this before a long time ago, some months ago, how I was like, Joe Ortiz, I think he's doing a great job for the Chargers. I think he's a great GM, but I think he's a little bit too stubborn, a little bit too stuck in his ways, thinking he knows what's best, when this is really his only team that he has been a GM of. And he pretty much saying that he doesn't really so much believe in signing big name players coming to the team, because that's just not his MO, that's not his strategy. But it's just like, bro, you haven't won a Super Bowl, and you're still proving yourself to be a good GM. This is your first time being a GM for the Chargers. Get over yourself. I think there is some truth to your philosophy, but it's not all of the truth. The people, the GMs who really has the recipe of success and bringing the team to the promised land, like, again, is the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Rams, because they're showing you what moves you needs to be made for you to go. And it's crazy because the Rams does it with a Hall of Fame quarterback. At first, you would think that it's like, if you got a Hall of Fame coach, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback, you got a chance every single year to go to the Super Bowl. The Rams got Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, but they still make moves. They make moves like they don't have Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. And that's why the Rams is great every single year. It's time for a lot of these other GMs to start really studying and taking notes on how to bring a team to the Super Bowl and how to win. Because that is a very shocking trade. And it's not a fair trade. Not fair, but life isn't fair. Football isn't fair. The Rams is definitely showing that they want to win now. They're not talking about, oh, we're building 5-10 years from now. We're building right now. That's what the Rams are showing. And you have to respect it. Not only do you respect it, you got to honor it. You got to look at that. You got to study it. Well, good luck to Jared Verse in Cleveland. I'm not sure if he's going to be as successful. To be honest, I don't know. But Myles Garrett deserves this, man. He deserves a ring. I'm not saying that he's going to get a ring right now, but I'm going to still go with the Chargers, because I think this is going to be a great Super Bowl, Rams and Chargers. That's been my pick, and I'm sticking with that until one of those teams get knocked out of the playoffs. So I'm going to still say it's the Rams and Chargers Super Bowl. But man, now it's definitely looking like this season is shaping to be even greater, man. It really is. So I thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know how you feel. What do you think about this Myles Garrett trade? Oh, and then not only that, but the A.J. Brown trade. I forgot about that. The A.J. Brown trade. How do you feel about that? I'm not all excited about that trade as I am about the Myles Garrett trade. Well, I'm kind of contradicting myself saying I'm excited about the Myles Garrett trade. I find it interesting because I am a little frustrated, because I'm like, God, man, if that's all you was asking, if that's what the Browns wanted was A first round 2027, second round 2028, third round 2029, and a great defensive player for Myles Garrett. The Chargers definitely could have done that. We had Louis, we had Khalil. We could have traded one of them for those 3 picks, and we could have got Myles Garrett. I'm great, how are you? But we didn't. And it's because Joe Ortiz and Jim, they are... I don't want to say they're too stuck in their ways, but you can't use this. You can curse your team by being too loyal to players. You got to bring in guys that can win, help you win now, man. That's what you got to do. So, but I'm not that big on the AJ Brown trade. I digress. I want to go back to the Patriots. I'm not that big on AJ Brown. I wasn't really all that excited to see AJ Brown go to the Patriots when people were talking about him going to the Patriots. I got to see more from Drake May. And for AJ Brown to be frustrated with Jalen Hurts, I think it's going to end up being a situation with him and Drake May. I mean, I would have liked to see AJ Brown with a better quarterback. Drake May is going into his 3rd year. He played okay last year. I think the media overhyped him just a tad bit. Now you do got Josh McDaniels calling the offense, but we need to see more from Drake consistently. And I don't know about AJ Brown going to the Patriots. I really don't. I would have liked him to see at least go to maybe the Bills or I don't know why the Bills wasn't in that, or even Jacksonville, or I mean, obviously I would have liked him to go to the Chargers, but I'm trying not to keep talking about the Chargers all the time. I'm trying to think of the other teams I'd have liked to see these players go to. Teams like that. I mean, the Browns should have been in that talks to see how they could have got AJ. I mean, if all what the Eagles was asking for was a first round pick, I don't really see how all the teams weren't in discussions about that. I don't, I mean, I get it. The salary, some teams didn't want to take on, so it was looking like maybe the Eagles was going to have to decrease their asking value of AJ Brown, but we're talking about a top 5 wide receiver, arguably top 1. All teams should have been on negotiations for that when they weren't. Speaking of all teams, the Rams was in talks for that. The Rams was looking at getting him. So that's what I'm saying. The Rams already got Puka, Devontae. I mean, the Rams showing you that they don't care, man. They like how the Rams and the Eagles get guys. That's the type of GM. That's the type of GM that I would like to be. Those are the type of GMs that I study. I keep saying this over and over again. I keep talking about that. It doesn't matter what kind of guys you got on your team, man. You keep getting the best player available. The best players that you can find. You stack them up. You stack them chips. You keep going, pushing. You keep building on top of that. I don't care if your whole entire offensive line are Hall of Famers. Get more. If you can have the opportunity to get another Hall of Fame offensive lineman, you bring them on board, man. Sign them. That is because it's never enough in football. Football is never enough, and you never can be comfortable. Anything can happen sometimes. A guy can get hurt or anything. And about time when you need your best players to step up, Or when time comes, some guys, they can have, maybe a guy can have a career-ending injury, a guy can retire, or guys get old. That's an inevitable thing right there in football. Players get older, and they get a lot of miles on that truck. And if you're just being so-called economical, foolishly, you gotta freaking like get over yourself a little bit, and you can't just be have enough wide receivers. And that's why the Eagles and the Rams is always there, man. That's why they're always contenders. They're always looking like they can go if the Chiefs ain't winning. The Seahawks snuck one, but you saw how stacked the Seahawks was. So that's what it has to be. And the Seahawks is going to have. The Seahawks are going to be interesting because they lost guys, blame players and on their team, but they're also able to sign. They're also able to sign the in-house guys, keep the in-house guys in. That is some brilliant strategy by them. Brilliant strategy. I don't know how they do it. I really don't, but they do it, man. They do it. So that's all I got right now, man. You all, thank you so much for watching. Give me your opinions, your thoughts on what you think about this, man. Because these players, man. These teams, like these teams getting these players, it's going to make it football so much more interesting. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and I thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day.